So...
But you said Jurassic Drac was in another pocket dimension, not in the normal dimension.
Well, this is just the timeline.
Then why is Shadows of Evil outside the timeline?
You're asking too many questions, Ron.
Fraud alert.
I am talking about a loop. It's a...
All right, we're back. You guys asked for it. You guys did what we asked, and we're back with part 2 of Drunk COD Zombies lore. Nick, are you drunk?
I'm on my way there.
We'll come back in an hour. 1 hour later. Nick, are you drunk?
No, I'm not drunk. What are you fucking on about, you fucking piece of shit?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
So if you guys missed the last video, somehow Nick taught us all of the zombies lore that he knows while being slightly drunk. And he got up to about Black Ops 4, and then he stopped remembering because that's pretty much as far as he knew from his childhood, teen years, and into adulthood. And he said that if we hit 100 likes on that video, that he would do the research for Black Ops 4 onward-ish. It's mostly Black Ops 4 that you researched, correct?
Correct.
So he'd do at least the research for Black Ops 4. And also you did research on like stuff you were like incorrect on.
Yeah, so I watched a different video, which I mean we could put on screen or not.
Is that Patrick Starr with a stiffy?
Also, Nick, what is open in your other tab for your images on paint.net? What is that other image that's open up there?
Oh, it's from it's
Why are we looking at a KOTOR screenshot right now?
How funny would it be if we just caught him with like porn open on a second tab? So this is part of the lore. This is Rick Toffin's wife.
What the fuck is that?
just looking at her ass.
So you researched Black Ops 4, you're drunk, you're going to tell us what stuff you got incorrect in the last video. Nick, what was incorrect about the last video? What do you want to clarify before we move into Black Ops 4?
Just some minor things. I kept saying the base on the moon was Eagle Base. It is actually called Griffin Station.
That's it. I'm out of here.
I can't even believe you would do this.
This fucking bullshit. Imagine if I got mad like that.
So Eagle Base is Griffin Station. We had a discussion on how they got from Kino to Ascension. And it was from a lander, like the landers from Ascension. That you know how like you like start off the map and you're like lowering into the tube.
Yeah,
that was the lander they took from Kino. There was, I guess, there was a crashed one. It is a very convoluted way of like linking the two maps together.
Oh, because you said they flew. Was that when you drew like the Indiana Jones?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, that was to Siberia, which they were teleported there. I found out.
Oh,
That's it. That's all you want to clarify.
Not like the entire comment section saying you were wrong about so much other shit.
Oh, there's plenty others that I will get into, but commenters, be wary. After Rick Tofen found the MPD on the moon, he went to Shangri-La. He returned to Duriz and had people teleport to the moon to build Griffin Station. Okay. And so Griffin Station, essentially, I had speculated of like, oh, maybe that's why Ascension happened, was because there was a bunch of like they were trying to figure out rockets. Ascension happened in the 60s, and Duriz happened in the 40s. So this is significantly far after the fact.
Yeah, that makes sense because like that the race to the moon was in the 60s.
We went to the moon. In this,
when you said that, I just assumed that it was because this is like an alternate reality where they discovered like technology faster because of element 115.
115. So during Rick Toffin's overthrow of Group 935 in 1940-ish, he teleported Maxis and Samantha. How Samantha became in control of all the zombies is the scientists at Griffin Station figured out how to charge the pyramid
They're
device.
JO crystals.
You know how there's like the tube that comes out and the souls go in. They find this out by one of the doctors killing a rat nearby, and it like goes into the tube. The soul goes in.
Why is one of the like
rats have souls? Apparently,
just...
rats have souls. Imagine if every rat went to heaven; it would just be full of rats. Because like,
I feel like we shouldn't like dissect religious beliefs in this video.
Is there an afterlife just for rats?
Rat religion.
So they killed a rat by the MPD, the moon.
They sent him to the
moon
big cheese in the
pyramid
sky.
device.
Okay.
And then they found that it's powered by souls. So they teleported up a bunch of soldiers from. This is Earth. Here is no, it's not it. It's more like that.
Is that just Florida? Are you just centralizing Florida?
Well, here's Florida.
Yeah, but it's like the center of the Earth. So we're implying
looks like a guy with a droopy nose.
Yeah,
we're implying that Florida is the center of the Earth.
Why is Mexico just like fucking getting puked out of America's ass?
I'm good at geography.
Is that Mexico? Is that Mexico and South America in one fucking
length?
Fluberous jube.
The fact that you can drive all the way from fucking Canada, like, it's crazy.
He's jerking it.
It's getting worse. I feel like this is like a coin that has, like you said, like an old man's face on it or something. I forgot what the fuck you were even supposed to be drawing.
I'm drawing the Earth.
Okay.
Welcome to Earth. So they're sending soldiers to the moon. That is a very straight line. Holy shit. That is the straightest fucking line I've ever drawn in my entire...
That's the straightest thing about you.
Oh, it's
you fucked it.
I fucked it down
there
at the
you
bottom.
Go. That's the like 6 months that Nick was dating a man.
So they send a bunch of soldiers to the moon to get sacrificed.
They put a lampshade over the planet
to keep it from melting the ice caps. Actually, no, that would melt the ice caps faster. I don't fucking know. I feel like this is a lot more off the rails than it was last time. You guys keep interrupting me, and
You thought the last one was off the rails, and then it ended up being like a banger video. So
true.
Don't trust your drunk thoughts. Just keep going.
So they fill up the MPD, and it opens. So you know how in the Easter egg it's like trying to draw
you
this
open it
geometry.
up and Samantha's in there and she's like, oh my god, you finally lifted the jar lid off the cum jar.
It's the exact scenario that goes down when I roll back my foreskin.
There's like a little girl trapped in there and she's like, thank you.
There's like, it has like four like fucking triangular corners, like the fucking top of like a flower that like blooms and the head comes out.
Oh, there's your pubes.
Yeah, the pubes are all in the glans, right on the like head of the penis. I'm bald. I'm bald around the like shaft and ball area, but then I have like a really hairy
Ron's
head.
penis just looks like the Demogorgon from Stranger Things.
So
Lord,
when Richtofen teleports Maxis and Sam, Maxis gets sent to the moon,
to the Shadow Realm,
and merges with Eagle Station, Griffin Station. Jesus Christ. I almost did it again.
You did do it again.
I did do it again.
You and Britney Spears both.
Fucking bastard.
So Nick doing it again also implies the existence of Nick doing it toxic and Nick doing it one more time.
Anyway, so Sam gets teleported to the moon, and
also I love that we're shorthanding her just to Sam now. I didn't know you guys were chill like that.
Her name's Samantha. Sam.
My brain fucking broke, Tim. I'm glad you said that, because I was like, shit, am I dumb? Like, did he talk about a new character named Sam? Like, do I, like, Tim's not questioning it. Like, he must, like, this...
Wow, you are dumb.
I am dumb. Samantha, got it.
Samantha gets scared and runs into the MPD. It closes...
or as Nick calls her, S-Dog. Because they're chill like that.
Hey, S-Dog, I got this cool pyramid. You should climb inside it. Maybe it'll be filled with cum. I don't know.
Good old Sammykins runs into the pyramid, and it closes and it corrupts her with the dark ether.
Classic Samwise.
Samwise Gamgee. That fucking rascal, always jerking off in Frodo's bushes. And that is a euphemism. I don't even remember what the fuck this lamp thing is.
You said it was warming the ice caps.
Yeah, those were the souls going up into the MPD, right?
Sure. Christ. I've got to go back to my notes. What the fuck? What was I saying? Sam is sent to Griffin Station and runs into the MPD after it opens. That's how she controls the zombies. So I did get a few things wrong about Black Ops 3. So each of those universes that Primus goes to like get the
Primus? Is that like the fucking purple brother of Grimace?
No, Primus.
It's definitely supposed to be Primus, but I'll let you keep saying
said Primus like it was Grimace, so I'm like...
They're traveling to different dimensions that are essentially falling apart, and they start with Dryzen that is essentially everything happens the same except for Dempsey is recaptured and is on his way to the moon. The Easter egg is essentially them turning the rocket around, and they kill Dempsey. Whatever you want to call him, alternate history Dempsey. After Moon, the gang gets teleported back to Earth. And
these Always Sunny episodes are getting crazy.
And the gang gets teleported to Earth.
So they get teleported back to Earth. Richtofen doesn't have a soul anymore because his is in the MPD, and Sam just fucking disappears? ? I don't remember. And so they get captured by the Americans because they're at Area 51. Again, the starting area of Moon.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're held there. Yeah.
Until Black Ops 4, right?
pretty much until Black Ops 4, which
Until
is immediately.
Black Ops 3 has nothing to do with those characters at all, right? Because that's all alternate dimension characters, correct?
Correct. So
Wow. Okay.
Primus Primus Richtofen goes to Morgue City, which is Shadows of Evil. So he takes the summoning key, which there's only one in the multiverse. So he spends a lot of time hopping around. Another thing that I didn't remember or wasn't aware of is teleportation. As you teleport more, it like infuses your blood with element 115
with bullshit.
Which is one of the reasons why they use blood vials later in the story. And when they get to Dryzen, Richtofen had literally just snagged the summoning key and went straight to Dryzen, and instead of getting alternate dimension characters' blood, they're getting their souls. So that's how they get the children of the house
So they weren't collecting their blood?
They were not collecting their blood. The blood comes in later with Mob of the Dead. So they go to Nikolai, Takeo, and Dempsey
and collect their souls.
Richtofen has already gotten his soul from a pre-violent, like he is like it's an uncorrupted version of himself, where he's like before he's ever like insane. So he's just like actually a fucking child, and he kills himself as a child and steals the soul to put into the house to make the soul immortal.
Okay.
Does that in turn make himself immortal?
No. So it's just another dimensions version of him.
Okay.
And he's just going, oh, this one, he's uncorrupted and he's not insane, so I'm gonna take his soul and use that as the catalyst, essentially. Like I'm gonna put it in the house, and when Dr. Monty rebuilds the universe, my soul will be there. It's essentially an insurance policy to make sure that like they survive. So after Zetsubo Nishima, they teleport to Mob of the Dead and get the souls of get the blood vials of 2 of the inmates there. So in Mob of the Dead, the map on Black Ops 2, it's 4 inmates that kill, that their whole trajectory is they spend this whole elaborate plan trying to build this plane to get up on the roof and escape, and it doesn't work, so they kill Al Arlington, who is also known as the Weasel. And the warden there is working for the Shadow Man, and when they kill Al Arlington, it traps all 4 or 5 of them in a infinite loop where they are infinitely trying to escape the island, and because they're going through this loop infinite amount of times, it gives their blood a lot of power. I could just see the blank looks on your faces.
Yeah, mine's pretty blank. Okay, so Mob of the Dead, infinite looping. Their souls are really charged. Richtofen stumbles there on accident while looking for the summoning key.
Essentially, I think he goes there intentionally again, because this is from memory. I definitely will get small details wrong, but essentially he finds out about this happening and goes there while the loop is one of the loops is happening to get the blood of the inmates.
Okay.
And in the opening for Blood of the Dead, they have like another Richtofen like teleport in, give him the Chronorium, and did I ever tell you guys about the Chronorium?
No.
Yeah, this is new to me. You just said a word.
So the Chronorium is how I'm remembering things as I'm
Also, Tim, Blood of the Dead is some Mob of the Dead remake in Black Ops 4.
I know what it is.
And so the only way for the Mob of the Dead guys to break the loop is for them to not kill the Weasel at the end, and for the Weasel to turn it around and kill the other 3 guys.
So, I'm lost.
If you think of it as one big time loop,
Okay.
where the beginning is like Duries and shit.
The beginning is Duries and shit, or I thought that was a different timeline.
No, sorry. You're
The
right.
beginning would be Origins, right?
Yeah, I don't want to write out Origins here. I could put text in. I forgot about text. So if Origins is the start of the loop.
Okay,
then,
this is going to help.
Yeah, there we go. And then they go... What is the loop itself? They go to Drizendra? No, they go to the house. So Pocket Dimension, where Dr. Monty is, the house is the house from Revelations. And then... So from there, they're able to teleport pretty much everywhere.
So the house is like their hub world.
Yeah, essentially their hub world is the house.
Okay.
And Richtofen...
So we're playing Call of Duty Zombies. They're playing Mario 64.
Fucking honestly. What is the name for it?
The name for what? Oh, Morgue City? The fucking Shadows of Evil place? Okay.
So Richtofen goes there and then...
Converges back into the timeline.
Converges back in the timeline to...
Der Schmeckeldorf.
Wait, you said Drak was in another pocket dimension, not in the normal dimension.
Well, this is just the timeline.
Then why is Shadows of Evil outside the timeline?
You're asking too many questions, Ron.
Wouldn't a timeline be a straight shot? You're talking about a loop here.
I am talking about a loop. It's a...
Erase that line in between Drak and the house.
Oh, it's deleting everything. I'm deleting the universe.
Pray I do not alter it any further.
It's like a branch off where... No, I was right.
It kind of looks like a dog from above, but it's got really bugged out eyes.
But if we're gonna treat Shadows of Evil as the same concept as Drak, as they're both separate dimensions that he jumps over to, why is there a line connecting Drak to the house and the rest of the circle, but then Shadows of Evil is a cancer that's bumped out? It doesn't make any sense. Oh, because the rest of the gang travels there.
Aha.
But only Richtofen travels to Shadows of Evil. Okay, I'll allow it.
All right. Okay, so Richtofen goes on his own. Only Rich.
Do his close friends call him Rich?
No, they call him Toph.
Okay. So Drak happens. They get the soul.
Drak's hopping. It's a hopping place to be.
Yo, this place is bumping. They got fucking dogs that poke out of the wall.
So Dempsey's soul goes back into the house. And
Alternate dimension Dempsey's soul.
Yeah, this is Dempsey's alt account. This is his alt account where he peruses Discord looking for femboys.
And he has like a furry profile picture.
Yeah.
Shout out to Moonpaw. Moonpaw's alternate reality Richtofen. So
you're gonna make him come.
Oh.
Hold on.
Anyway.
Hold on.
Join our Discord server to understand inside jokes.
Who Moonpaw is.
And deeper lore.
And I also need to do some erasing here. I hear someone moving. Who's leaving class?
Not I.
Here it's Ron leaving class. Skipping class right now.
It's okay, I'm still listening, Teach. Whoa! Throwing another fucking curveball in here. Get his dick sucked. Oh, okay, on the way back, he grabs his,
soul. And that also goes to the house, but that's a messy line, so I won't add that. So he brings it back to the house. Oh no, he doesn't do that because they're all the souls are stored in a summoning key. Fucking idiot, Nick.
Ignore that.
Ignore that.
Fraud alert.
Write that down.
Fraud alert.
All right, what'd I miss?
Richtofen makes a detour on the way to regroup with the boys and gets his boy's soul.
He gets his
From where?
childhood soul from just another dimension.
Yeah, it's not a map that we play. We don't see it. It happens off camera.
I also changed this to the giant because that's where the giant happened. So then it's Drak, then it's Zetsubo.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Another loop?
Yeah, this is Mob of the Dead.
Ah, okay. All right. Primus retrieves blood vials of mobsters.
So do you see that in Blood of the Dead?
You don't see... kind of. Okay. I'll get to Blood of the Dead. So this is too much, but let's see. This is Grovy?
Garod COVID. Yep. Good gravy.
Good gravy.
Revelations.
So Revelations happens after they've collected in the summoning key Richthofen's soul, Dempsey's soul, Takeo's soul, and
Random mobster blood.
random mobster blood. So the mobster blood is an insurance policy.
How many insurance policies are there?
So it's an insurance policy from Dr. Monty, who they don't really trust because
Are they getting good rates?
You know, I've heard Geico is 15% or more on Geico or something like that. I don't fuck. You get 15% more zombie blood or charged 115 blood from Geico than you do from Mob of the Dead. So, did you bring enough for the class there, Ron?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're gonna come and feed that to me right now?
So Revelations happens, and Revelations happens because they didn't know in Shadows of Evil, the guys from Shadows of Evil trapped the Shadow Man in the summoning key because the Shadow Man was trying to get them to kill Richtofen. So the Shadow Man has been in the summoning key when Richtofen gets his soul.
Time.
They get all the other souls, and then they bring it to the house.
So now they've brought the baddie to the house.
Right, and Maxis is there, because that's where Maxis got teleported to. And because he doesn't have a soul, because he was just a brain in a jar from Origins,
right.
he hears the whispers of the Shadow Man and is an idiot and fucking releases him from the summoning key. And that's why Revelations is all blown up, is because the Shadow Man escapes.
So is Revelations the house blown up?
Yeah. And it's like the timeline's all like converging in this pocket dimension that Max has created.
Whoa.
Because if you look at like the beginning part up the hill past Quick Revive,
yeah,
that's where the house is.
Yeah.
And I know you guys have never played these solo, but when you log in, when you watch the like opening cutscene of like Drak and Zetsubo, and it shows a lot of the story in cutscenes, and same with Revelations. It shows like the Shadow Man just fucking escaping and tearing shit up. So the Easter egg for Revelations is you kill the Shadow Man and you purge the corruption from this pocket dimension that is where the house is.
Okay.
But because these guys have been teleporting all over God knows fuck, their blood is corrupted. And so Dr. Monty's like, well, I can't have you in my perfect reality. Like, I'll take your souls and I'll make you guys like your souls into like beings who will know happiness forever, but you guys, the actual like Primus Crew, we have to erase from existence. Unfortunately, they've drank the blood vials from Mob of the Dead, which is a separate dimension, and that causes them to be it's a paradox, so he can't just like wipe them out.
So you were just blatantly incorrect in the last video when you said that they had their own blood vials. You were thinking of the Mob of the Dead blood vials?
I was thinking the Mob of the Dead blood vials. That was part of the correction. So with after Revelations, Monty's like, well, fuck, what am I going to do with you guys? Oh, I know where I'll put you. I'm going to send you back in time to the Great War, which is the war at the beginning of time, where the Apothicons and the Keepers fought. And the Apothicons eventually got sealed away in the Dark Ether. That is the loop as of Black Ops 3. The end of Black Ops 3 ends with them going back in time to the Great War, and eventually they died. It's just like, they get to they get to live. They have this insurance policy from Mob of the Dead that allows them to survive Dr. Monty, but it sends them to the Great War. He just teleports them back in time.
And then they send them to Origins after the Great War, like the fucking Terminator?
No. So the cycle is, it's just an infinite loop to power.
Right.
So
What do they do? You said they die in the Great War. Wouldn't that end the loop?
But it's just yes and no.
What?
No, because they die in the Great War, but then time progresses.
From the Great War.
The reality of the Great War, time progresses. Those characters are born in 1910 or whatever, or 1901 or whatever, and then go to World War One, and Origins happens, and the timeline loops again.
Yep.
Okay.
Ron got it right. Now, how Black Ops 4 fucks us all up? This nice, tidy, loop that they were like, all right, we're done with zombies. We're not going to do any more zombies. And then they did more zombies. Black Ops 4 is the last, to my knowledge, of the main story, the main zombies continuity.
Because isn't everything after just like a reboot with completely new?
No, it's the whole point of it is breaking this cycle. Where the cycle doesn't happen. There's another fork in the road where... Did I explain the Chronorium yet?
No.
So the Chronorium is a book that exists in all dimensions, I believe, that tells whatever dimension it is currently in. It tells you exactly what's going to happen. It just tells you all of history when you read it. Okay. You don't have to actually read it, but you just open it up and oh, this is the plan I need to do. So one of the loops, Chronorium changes because the Weasel, Al Arlington from Mob of the Dead, breaks his cycle, the Mob of the Dead cycle by killing the other mobsters before they kill him, and it stops the cycle, and so it changes the Chronorium. And so when Primus Crew comes to get the blood vials of the mobsters, there's another Richtofen that's like, oh yeah, here's the blood vials that I collected. He's like, oh, and here's a Chronorium, read it. And he's like, I've read the Chronorium, I know what goes on, I know what is going to happen. And he goes, read it again. And so he reads it again, and he's like, what the fuck, it changed? That's not good. That throws everything off. So because it changed, they don't actually... he still retrieves the blood vials and keeps them on his person, but in this version of Mob of the Dead, all the guys are dead now, and so it's just the warden there who's stuck there waiting for them. He screws everything up, and they've got to find a way to get off that universe.
I think I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember this that I learned a month ago on the fly. So because the Mob of the Dead cycle breaks, other things in history start changing. So after the Great War, Primus Richtofen doesn't die, or teleports to Mob of the Dead, builds a little bunker underneath it before the loop starts, and essentially puts himself into cryosleep. So this is after Revelations Richtofen, after the Great War. And
so this is post everything Richtofen. He's been through the entire loop, but is not looping back.
Right. Because the Mob of the Dead cycle broke.
So he goes to Mob of the Dead knowing that past Richtofen will go there in what is now the future, and sets up to wait for him there?
Correct. So they do an Easter egg where they're setting up essentially being able to teleport home, because the jailer is making it hard for them to leave, because he doesn't want them to leave, because he wants to keep doing the cycle. He doesn't care who does the cycle. He just wants the cycle to happen over and over again.
As long as somebody does a cycle.
Right. And so there's a point in the Easter egg where there's this dark mechanism that is in the boss room that whoever's playing as Richtofen has to get into, and it starts draining his blood. And
it's the title, Blood of the Dead.
So it starts taking his blood to power their way home, essentially. And when this happens, post-Great War Richtofen wakes up from cryosleep and goes and helps with the boss fight. He like take whoever's playing as Richtofen just becomes the new Richtofen.
Okay.
And so I'm tired, boys. I'm trying to remember this. So after they defeat the Warden, Richtofen goes, I know what happens if I read the Kernorium and I lead this crew.
Change.
They go to Gorod Krovi, they go to the house, and the revelation happens, and the whole loop happens again. He's already been betrayed, so he knows we have to deviate. But how do we deviate if I my plan, I can't make new plans, essentially.
Okay.
So he gives Nikolai the Kernorium.
Okay.
And Nikolai reads the Kernorium and learns how to break the entire cycle, not just the Mob of the Dead cycle.
Okay.
So, is this where the Ultimus crew comes back into play?
Correct.
World at War through Black Ops 2 original characters.
Correct. They're sitting back at Area 51, and so as the crew is leaving with Great War Richtofen, Primus Richtofen from this loop is still getting his blood pumped out in the fucking dark mechanism, and they just let him fucking die.
Okay, so they just leave him there.
They just leave him to die, and it's quite sad if you watch it. He's just like, I wanted to keep trying to do my plan, it'll work eventually, and it's quite sad.
But now they have older, more experienced, more knowledgeable Richtofen to just replace him. So
correct. So from there, this is a new chain of events. They go to 5 Pentagon, where Ultimus is being held in jail, essentially.
Okay.
There was an outbreak again at 5 after Kennedy and all that. All those guys had an outbreak. There was another outbreak with
so this is classified now.
with the Ultimus crew. This is classified, yeah. And after they do the little Easter egg, which I believe the Easter egg is just getting to round 250, round 150. Still,
damn,
fucking crazy. It just shows the 4 guys in the 4 Ultimus characters in the cell, just like, oh well, I guess we're fucked. I did forget a detail. While they're in the cell, the zombie from the end of Black Ops 2, the zombie Richtofen from the end of Black Ops 2 gets teleported to 5, touches Richtofen's essentially lifeless body, and his soul gets transferred back in. So this is post.
So they just wrote that out. They were like, nah, we're going to actually forget he was ever a zombie. We just got to find a way. He's back in his body.
100%. And so
why were they keeping a lifeless body in a cell?
In prison?
Fucking, I don't know.
They're just like, all right, you 3, we're putting you in the cell. Throw the stiff in there with him. They just
he's
toss
still
the, limpless body.
They're like, boss, I'm pretty sure his soul is somewhere in a zombie. So what if he reanimates? If we bury him?
The government official just looks over at the guy having no idea what he's talking about, and he's like, are you fucking retarded?
So there is some timey-wimey bullshit that happens with these characters. So the moon happens in the future. It happens in 2035 or something like that. That's why when you do transit, it's all future-y guns and kind of futuristic.
Right. So the Victis Crew storyline is in the future after Moon.
Right.
But when they're in jail, they're back on Earth in the past.
In the past.
Okay.
Because teleporters teleport through time sometimes as well.
Yep.
Let's see. So the Primus crew shows up. And
the Grimace crew.
The Grimace crew shows up and says, "We would like to go steal some hamburgers. Will you come with us?"
And they're like, "That's the other guy with the stripes and the hat."
They show up to 5 and they're like, "We should team up." And they were like, "All right," and we team up.
But this Richtofen's evil.
No.
Or is it because he's not hearing the voices anymore? Ultimus Richtofen.
Ultimus Richtofen, he's 100% still evil.
Okay.
But he's just fucking crazy outnumbered at this point.
He's just along for the ride at this point.
He's like, you know what, guys? I really wanted to take over the world, but since you guys all want to save it, all right, I'm outnumbered. I get it.
Essentially.
It's out here fucking what? 5 to 1? Yeah. At what point do you have to wake up in the morning, look your zombie self in the mirror, groan, go through a teleporter, touch your prior self, look yourself in the mirror again, and say, I give up?
So from there, they go to
Alpha and Omega. Is that the fucking Gladiator map?
no. That's a different story entirely. That is Nuketown. That is Nuketown.
Alpha and Omega
Zombies.
is Nuketown zombies.
The Black Ops 4 version of Nuketown Zombies. And there, so they need 3 things in order to enact Nikolai's plan. Do you guys remember Town? This is going to be a little off topic, but it'll make
From
sense.
Black Ops 2 Transit.
Black Ops 2.
Yeah.
Nope, not that town.
Just town.
I didn't. Yeah, I said town. I totally meant fucking Buried.
Yeah.
Buried,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Buried was a western town in 1840 something. It was underneath the town. It was a gold mine, and in one of the gold mines they found 115, and it started driving people crazy.
Okay.
And it drove this one guy, Jebediah Brown, crazy, and he made the Pack-a-Punch machine. And the the story is like he in Buried, he tells a story of like on these like cassette tapes, essentially from the 1800s.
Hidden lore, my least favorite.
He tells a story of like, oh yeah, like these angels like came down to me and told me, hey, here's a machine that I want you to build, and the guy was like, I don't know how to he built it. He was like, I don't know how the fuck I figured this out. So he built the Pack-a-Punch machine. And that's why there's a Pack-a-Punch machine on Buried. And
Okay.
he's like, all right, like weird. So he, packs everybody's guns, and it's like it's he makes a business out of it. And then after a while, the angels come back to him again. The angels who are keepers. He just assumes they're angels. They come back to him and say,
Are these the ghosts on Buried?
No, the ghosts on Buried are his mother, who died. A zombie killed her, and he pack-punched her body to see if it would like resurrect her, and it turned her into a ghost.
That's crazy.
Fucking Full Metal Alchemist.
That's actually kind of sick.
The second thing they came to ask him about was making what's known as the Agarthan device. And the Agarthan device is essentially a metal bird cage with an elemental shard of 115 in it, and like a cowboy hat, but it's got like
It's a glory hole cowboy hat.
this is the elemental shard. It's got like shardy bits coming off of it.
It's a crystal from Final Fantasy.
Yeah, it's like a crystal with lumps all over it.
They just made like an insect with wings.
Yeah, that's
and a
what's in the
hard-on.
glory hole cowboy hat.
Jesus fucking Christ. So there are 3 parts to the Agarthan device, which the Agarthan device it's a wish machine. They literally made a wish machine.
All right. They made Wish.com.
So it needs Apothecon blood, the elemental shard, and then what else does it need? What else? Oh, housing. I don't remember what it's called. So the guy who made the Pack-a-Punch machine is a blacksmith, so he's like, I can fucking make a housing. Like, I can make a housing all day. So he makes it. They tell him to put the housing into Pack-a-Punch machine, and when it does that, it teleports the whole town underground in sub-Saharan Africa. All right, back to Alpha and Omega. They go to Alpha and Omega to get Elemental Shard, which is a piece of 115 that has been refined to be completely pure, with four souls bound to it. And Richtofen in the original timeline bound his soul, Richtofen, Dempsey, Nikolai, and Takeo's souls to the elemental shard, and that's why they're the most like important beings in this universe. Because it made
the Ultimus Crew 4 characters, the original 4.
The original 4, but when they did that, it bound all 4 of them together throughout the entire multiverse. So in every multiverse, there is a crew
player group
doing something.
So that would also then explain why, even though they didn't meet until they were older in the original timeline, in the Primus timeline, they meet in their 20s in World War One, because Ultimus Richtofen bound their souls in every multiverse. So that's what altered the Primus multiverse.
He didn't know what he was doing. but he didn't know that's what the ramifications would be of making the elemental shard. So when Ultimus Richtofen overthrew Group 935, he had a deal going with the Americans and the Russians.
He was playing both sides so that he always came out on top.
Correct. He had a deal with both of them to send them, essentially split up Group 935. So half of their soldiers, or half of their researchers go to America, half of them go to Russia. The ones that go to, half of the resources as well. So like the
damn, that's Thanos' wet dream right there.
Russia, can you imagine if they tried to make a movie based on this plot?
Fucking honestly. So America and Russia, the whole point of the space race is they're trying to get to the moon because that's where the MPD is.
Right.
And whoever controls the MPD controls the zombies and the dark ether, and you know it's a. So Russia's trying to make rockets, America's trying to teleport. And so there's a guy from America who's like the head of the Pentagon. He essentially goes, fuck it, you know what? We're gonna make our own pyramid device. And so they make on Alpha and Omega the APD, which is essentially it's the American pyramid device. He tries to go to Agartha, like how the moon pyramid device, which was made by the Keepers, send people to Agartha. He's trying to do that himself using the elemental shard that got divvied up to from Group 935 to America. That the boys need. So it is the elemental shard is in the APD, and the Easter egg is them opening it with all 8 of them. And so the only thing left they need
is Apothicon blood.
Is Apothicon blood at Tagdertoten, which in Tagdertoten is
Call of the Dead.
Call of the Dead remastered. They're at back to Blood of the
Dead.
Dead.
Wait, hold on. Tim brings up a good question. The 9 map, what's it called in Black Ops 4? The like
yeah, the Roman one. What's up
the
with those
Roman
characters?
one? Is that
that's just a completely different storyline.
Okay.
So they had 2 completely different storylines running concurrently in one game.
Tim, brace yourself for people in the comments being like, actually, the fucking like Roman people crew who, you know, are secretly existing in every game like since. I don't know if they go on every game since. I'm just fucking saying shit. Actually, the whole completely new story is actually a 3rd loop within the loop that's contained within fucking Takeo's asshole.
Fucking honestly, like I don't know anymore, dude. Like the Chaos story is pretty bad, and it's just like it's more mysticism than it is like, you know, technopunk kind of.
Okay. So they label it as its own story, which is why it has nothing to do with Primus or Ultimus. Okay.
So there's a split here.
Jesus Christ.
So all 4 characters open the APD and get the element. Sorry, all 8 characters open the APD, get the elemental shard, and then there's a timeline split.
It's not a timeline split. It's just
the crew's going in different directions.
So Ultimus and Primus go.
What?
100%. If you look at like. It's just like a winter. Yeah.
That shitty fucking 22 FPS main menu is lore?
Of course it is.
It wasn't meant to be, but people hated on it so much that they
Actually, it was there for a reason, guys. It was there for a reason.
That's exactly. This is why I was like, we should do the Fallout lore. So they go to the woods. And they get absolutely fucking sloshed. Just having a good time. They're like, all right, this is the end of the cycle. Like we've defeated Dr. Monty.
Let's throw a fucking party.
Oh, I forgot to mention at the end of Alpha and Omega when they get the elemental shard, Samantha and Eddie, which is Richtofen's virgin soul.
Okay.
They bring them with them to the woods.
Okay, so they're having an Ewok party.
That sounds really fucking dark. Yeah, it's an Ewok party. We'll liven it up with an Ewok party.
So young Samantha and young Richtofen
are there.
So it's three Richtofens at the function.
Correct.
Okay.
I bring a sort of Richtofen, and Richtofen to the function that the other Richtofens don't like.
So at Tagdertoten, during Call of the Dead, when Russia took over Group 935's research, they were contacted by, what is his name? Pablo Marinez?
The Mexican fifth player.
The Mexican guy. The Mexican.
I remember.
You said Pablo Mariner, I think.
I
before.
did say Pablo Mariner. That was incorrect. It is Pablo Marinez. Okay. He wakes up after getting his spleen fucking taken out, and Richtofen thinks he's dead. He wakes up in a cryopod on Call of the Dead and is just like there by himself, and he stays there for like 30 years.
This is like when Han came back in Fast and Furious.
By himself, and because he's
they go to Call of the Dead and he's like, hey boys, what's that? You went on an interdimensional fucking timeline loop? Oh, that's crazy. I watched George Romero make a movie here.
So one of his side effects from 115 exposures, he has visions of the future and the past and all this, that, and the other. And they thought he was crazy because he was just fucking mumbling to himself.
Oh, so he conveniently knows all the lore that's happened, even though they wrote him out.
Yes.
Gotcha. No catch-up needed.
He stays at Call of the Dead and eventually contacts Yuri Zavoysky, who is one of the Russian 935 scientists, who is the weapon thief from 5. I forget what it's called.
He's the Pentagon thief?
He's the Pentagon thief. So Russia sends a ship, or gets in contact with Pablo at Call of the Dead, and he has a vision showing him where to find the Apothicon blood. And so he tells Russia, hey, you want to like get some like more research? Like, here's where you can find the Apothicon blood. And they're like,
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I know you said it's a story that's like really complex, except for when it comes to convenience. However, why did they not just like travel to the Great War part of time and just kill an Apothicon? Because wasn't it a war of Apothicons and Keepers at the beginning of time? So why, if they're doing all this travel, can they not just go back and kill like a random Apothicon on the front lines instead of like talking to fucking Pablo and shit?
From what I've picked up from what Nick has said, I don't think Richtofen can consciously time travel, correct?
Correct. It is, he can
the Shadow
places.
Man or whatever, or Dr. Monty or somebody was the one that sent them back there, not him.
Right.
All the like time travel he's done has been like accidental when they like accidentally 100%. Went to Kino Dertoten, right?
Yeah. So to your point, yes, they could have just gone to the Great War and gotten fucking Apothicon blood. But the next best thing is there was one at the bottom of the ocean that was still like...
Oh, yeah, no, of course. Why wouldn't there be?
So they found, the Russians found the Apothicon blood. They took it to Call of the Dead, and the boat crashed.
Hence the shipwreck on the map.
Hence the shipwreck, because the
crew was exposed to 115, thus making them crazy.
Yeah, they tested on the Apothicon blood, and it got mad at them, because apparently it's sentient. So it made them crash ship. Pablo's still stuck at Tag Toten when Ultimus and Primus send Victis.
Whoa.
Bingus, Kringus, Smingus, and Dingus.
100% to Tag Toten to retrieve the blood for them.
Okay, okay, hold on. You said the Victis storyline was in the future, after Moon exploded, when the Earth was all kabooshed.
Yeah.
But they were traveled back to the past, to 1965, or whenever you want to say that is, to be imprisoned at the Pentagon, which would be fucking 90 years before Bingus, Kringus, Schmingus, and Dingus.
Right.
So how are they now friends with them and sending them on missions?
They were in cryostasis next to the Great Warp Richtofen in Blood of the Dead, or Mob of the Dead, in the basement of the Mob of the Dead.
Why was the Victis crew in the basement of Mob of the Dead?
Yeah, you left that out, bro. You just retconned yourself.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this has been retconning myself.
You were just like, all right, they're in prison. They meet themselves, and the Victis crew is here now.
Well, so they get to the woods and they awaken Victis and send them to Tag Toten.
So, wait, they find them in the woods now? What is going on?
No. Like the Ultimus and Primus crew get to the woods, awaken Victis from their cryogenic slumber. The Victis crew goes to Tag Toten. I don't remember how they're
in a cryogenic slumber from the future?
Yeah, man.
Dude. What?
I vaguely remember something about they got like teleported around by Maxis but God, I don't remember that part because Black Ops 2 sucks.
Okay, so they got teleported around by Maxis, ended up actually in the past, then went into cryo sleep to later be discovered.
Correct.
And they were just in cryo tubes in the woods?
Oh!
No, they were in cryo tubes under Mob of the Dead, where Great War Richtofen went to also go into cryo sleep.
Yeah, but then Nick changed that and said that they actually found them in the woods.
No. They went to the woods and awoke the...
So, Great War Richtofen crawled into his cryopod and didn't think to himself, you know what? There's 4 people that could be named Bingus, Kringus, Schmingus, and Dingus for all I care. I do not care. But I'm going to go into the pod anyway.
Yeah.
And, like, didn't take note of, like, 4 other people chilling there.
Well, he was already frozen when they got there, I would imagine.
Okay.
Because he's been frozen for, like, thousands of years.
So they stumble in and don't go, there's one single guy here.
Well, they're
with like a Nazi armband on.
Well, no, he's in his like tab. He's in like fucking chainmail.
Yeah, he's in like his. Okay, that's not what I expected.
After the Great War, Primus Richtofen doesn't die, teleports to Mob of the Dead, builds a little bunker underneath it before the loop starts, essentially puts himself into cryos. I'm glad I'm confusing you guys because it's confusing me.
So they get teleported around. Victis Crew. They find the cryo sleep chambers in Mob of the Dead. Richtofen's already in cryo there. They're like, oh, this guy's in cryo. We could be in cryo. They go into cryo.
I think Maxis puts them into cryo.
Okay, they get awoken when the
they
rest
enter
of them,
the woods?
No, they get awoken when they release other Richtofen from cryo. It also releases the Victis Crew, but the Primus Crew doesn't know they released the Victis Crew, and that's why they weren't there for Classified or Alpha and Omega, and then they meet them again in the woods.
No, so the Victis Crew are not in the woods. I was using they generously. They being Ultimus and Primus go to the woods and they awaken the Victis Crew who are at Mob of the Dead and send them to Tagner Toten.
Oh, okay, hold on.
Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
So
you guys wanted part 2.
They weren't awakened when they awakened Richtofen from Mob of the Dead. They stayed in cryo until later when the characters went to the woods.
And
then
did the act of going to the woods awaken the Victis Crew?
No, it was an active thing that they wanted to happen. They were
so
like,
they
oh,
went
hey.
to the woods and like hit a magic button and woke them up in another.
Are these the woods outside of Mob of the Dead?
Like how did
they could be?
How did they wake them up from within the woods?
It is not explained.
Did they just like knock on a tree trunk 3 times and like fucking?
Maybe they said it as like a time delay or something like that. I mean, you're asking questions about like magic shit when like we literally have like a little girl controlling zombies and like teleporting.
Yeah, at least that made sense to me.
Somehow, some way. They
somehow the Victis Crew has returned.
Now we have to do a part 3 for Nick to be like, so when I said somehow the Victis Crew returned, I actually missed the Richtofen charged a JO crystal inside of a raccoon cave.
I actually missed that the fucking chaos story was all about waking up the Victis Crew.
Yeah, so when I said the chaos story wasn't important at all, the Roman map was actually the story of how the Victis Crew got woken up and met up with the other characters so they could get sent to Tagner Toten. So I was totally missing that part of the story.
I'm literally like almost at the end. You guys wouldn't fucking stop interrupting me.
Okay, go on. So somehow the Victis Crew returned.
Somehow the Victis Crew returned, and while they're doing the Easter egg, Ultimus and Primus are having a party, essentially celebrating like, oh yeah, like we've won, we're finally gonna be done with this. Everyone's celebrating because Nikolai has a plan to finally stop all the zombies and everything.
Okay.
And so Nikolai is talking to the Victis Crew as it's happening, and so is Primus Richtofen, because Primus Richtofen, if you remember, because Duelinger...
Still evil.
No, Primus Richtofen has seen the Great War.
Sorry,
Ultimus Richtofen is evil.
Ultimus Richtofen is after he was zombified, so he still has a mental link with the guy who ate zombie flesh out of the Victis Crew. So he's communicating with him and telling him how to, help Nikolai. And Nikolai is just giving broad instructions as well.
Okay.
So the Victis Crew find the Apothicon blood on the ship from Russia, and they teleport it to the woods. And so this is the end of the Tagnertoten Easter egg. And so Nikolai is there by himself with zombie I don't remember why they zombified Richtofen again.
What?
After the party, you gotta go back,
sorry.
buddy.
So the whole point of the party was Nikolai felt bad that he was just gonna kill all the characters because he realized after reading the Chronorium that the only thing keeping this loop alive and keeping the zombies happening and people's lives getting fucked up was because the 4 of them existed, or the 8 of them existed.
That makes sense. That lines up with what you briefly said at the end of the last video.
Nikolai reads the Chronorium and realizes, oh, I can kill most of them and then wish using the device, the Agarthan device, wish a better future for Samantha and for Eddie.
Okay.
But wait, wouldn't Eddie existing also still cause a problem? Because isn't he also Richtofen, so wouldn't he have to kill the kid?
But he's Richtofen from a time before he was ever corrupted.
Okay.
He's and so Nick's clarifying that he's using the what's it called, the
Agarthan device
to wish so that he doesn't have to kill the kid.
Right.
Okay.
And so because Nikolai poisoned all their drinks, all the Ultimus and Primus's drinks, they're all dead except for Ultimus Richtofen, who resurrects as a zombie because he's infected. Oh,
he still has the zombie trait or whatever.
Yeah, he's still like the he can turn into a zombie. Yeah, essentially. And so he's and the whole time during Tagnertoten, it's just Nikolai standing by himself in the woods with zombie Richtofen, who has a connection with Stuhlinger, who is the guy who had zombie flesh. And when the Easter egg is happening, they're all dead at that point. But I didn't want to. How it shows itself is you just show up as Victis, you do the Easter egg, and then you realize, oh, they've been dead. Because you can go through and there are audio logs in Tagnertoten showing them having a good time.
Nikolai doesn't have the Agarthan device.
He has he has the elemental shard and the housing.
Whoa. But he doesn't have the Apothicon blood until they return with it.
Correct. Until they essentially, I think they teleport it to him.
Okay.
And so he kills Richtofen, zombie Richtofen, and then has Sam kill him. And after he's combined it, he turns on the device, creates a portal for Sam and Eddie to walk through, and then has Sam kill him so that none of them exist anymore. And when Sam and Eddie go into the portal, all of this, every bit of this gets erased because the loop is broken completely. Like they're erased from existence.
Okay.
And so Sam and Richtofen go through the portal and end up in like a normal city or something.
Normal reality.
A normal reality.
So hold on. So now, are you trying to tell me? Are you sure that like Cold War in the later games, where Samantha is like an active character in those games, it's not this Samantha?
It is that Samantha, but it doesn't have anything to do with this whole convoluted mess because when she goes through the portal with Eddie, it's wiped clean. Like history goes back to normal.
Okay.
As if 115 never existed, the Apothicons never existed. It is just the normal timeline.
So they did a Marvel, or not Marvel, a DC Flashpoint reset.
It'd be more like Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah.
Where it's just they had all this convoluted shit and they compacted it into one universe.
So does Richtofen exist then? Eddie grows up and is Richtofen a character in the later games?
And that's why in Black Ops 6, you can see there's like a picture of him in like the fucking Pentagon with a Wonderwolf, but I've past Cold War, I've not paid attention to any of that.
Okay. I know from what comments people have said and what I've briefly read on like brief articles and stuff, is that it gets weird because they like include all of the Call of Duty campaign lore into the new Zombies lore that I assume now is the one that Samantha and Eddie are existing in. So in order to like get into that lore, you have to get into like all of like the new Modern Warfare lore and the original World at War campaign through Black Ops whatever 4 campaign. That was all one story. Not the original Modern Warfare trilogy, that's separate because they rebooted that with the new Modern Warfare trilogy. But the new Modern Warfare and Black Ops series are apparently all one continuity, and now are also in the same continuity as the current Zombies timeline. So all of those characters are all in one universe, from what I understood, from what somebody said in a comment and what I read in an article.
What the fuck? So you're telling me
it's
Soap
literally
McTavish is out here fighting fucking zombies?
Right. So if you look up like the current zombie timeline, it's literally like World at War campaign, Black Ops 1 campaign, like Black Ops 2 campaign, like Modern Warfare 2019 campaign, Modern Warfare 2 2021 campaign. It like has all the campaigns like listed in order on like how to understand the new zombie timeline.
Wild.
I don't like that, and I want it to stop.
I don't know if I want to research that. Because I like Richtofen, Dempsey, Nikolai, and Takeo.
I kind of want to play the new Modern Warfare trilogy campaign to see if it's any good, because I did really fuck with the original Modern Warfare campaign. I thought the writing in that was fucking excellent.
I would imagine since they're remakes, they're probably almost exactly the same.
I think like general ideas, like just the task force of like different nations coming together to like fight one terrorist group type thing, they kind of like, I think they kind of speed through what would be MW1 and 2 into like kind of one game with the first one. But I know it's completely different. Like, I don't even know if Shepard exists or like. Anyway, that was. Are you done, Nick?
I am done. That is the
Specifically
end
Black Ops
of
4.
Black Ops. The Black Ops. That is the end of the Primus Ultimus story.
Gotcha. And Victis, technically, right? Or does Victis go on to live?
Nope. So when it
So the only characters.
This is what's known as Aether story, right?
The only characters
yes.
from the original 5 COD Zombies games that are living and existing in the current 3 Zombies games are Samantha and Richtofen.
I believe so.
Eddie.
Okay. Eddie.
I have literally no knowledge of Cold War and such.
Okay, that makes sense because I know Samantha's a character from what I've seen, but nobody else seemed to be there, and I was confused why they only had Samantha and nobody else. So that would line up with what you're saying.
Damn.
Because Samantha's like grown up in Cold War, and you like play as her, right?
I believe so.
Okay, I think that's true. I think one of the maps Samantha's like a playable character. But wait, no, because Cold War you have operators.
Yes.
I really hate the operator thing. I would have, even if they didn't use the old cast, I would have rather them like introduced a new cast or something.
You gotta use your skins in the game so you and your friends can have the skins. It's the Fortnite effect, Ron. It affected every game that's ever come out since it happened.
All right. Well, that was our lore video. You'll be seeing our second channel with the Fallout lore video, and if this video gets
keep in mind this is a sequel video, so it's not going to get more views than the first one.
Let's see if this video gets 1,000 views with 50 likes.
Your ratios are awful.
Okay?
1,000 views would probably be like at least 100 likes.
Okay, 1,000 views, 100 likes. I think it's the same as we did last time.
Okay.
I will also do Halo.
Oh, I could do that.
Sure, we'll have Ron do Halo lore.
Oh, yeah,
From
okay, I'll stand by that.
Ron's like, sure.
Can I just have you did you read those books, Tim?
What's that?
Did you read the Halo books?
I read Fall of Reach.
Alright, guys. Like the video, comment, subscribe, keep an eye out because we're probably going to create a second channel. We can't post we want to do other drunk lore videos, but we can't post them on this channel
and
because
other videos in general.
and other videos in general, but we can't post them on this channel because the algorithm for this channel is just so honed in on zombies that if we try to post content that isn't zombies, it doesn't do well. So we're going to need to create a second channel for non-zombies content. So we are considering that. So, but if you're watching this video, I would assume you like zombies. So subscribe to this channel, and we'll also post about where we're going to post any future lore videos on other subjects, whether that be a new channel or what we're going to do. We'll post the updates on this channel, so definitely follow this channel as well.
And join our Discord for any updates.
True.
Join our Discord where we'll be discussing such things and what games we'll be playing on whatever new channel we make, and ideas for this channel, and we have a good time in there. So join and have some fun. And
who knows, you might even make some lifelong friends along the way.
We'll see you guys in future videos. Peace.
See you in the next one.
See ya.